Hey guys! Whoa, look at me bumping into that. Welcome to Book Talk. I'm all by my lonesome at the moment. I'm gonna move this around just a second. Apparently I did not do a good enough job. Anyways, so Rachel is not feeling well and she's not gonna be able to join me today, which I'm a little sad. Hi Jacqueline. How you doing? Thanks for being here. So that's a little sad. This was such a big book and such an intense book. I was really hoping to have another... Hi, Cassandra! How are you? I was hoping to have another person right here just to kind of dig into this insane novel that we just finished. I did try to, channel my inner Lotta while getting ready for book talk. I don't know if that comes across or not, but she's so fierce and I wanted to be fierce like her, but I think I just ended up looking like, a person with dark eyeshadow on. I don't know. Anyway, so I thought while we were waiting for people to kind of join us, I bought fairy lights. I put some of them up. I got them at Kohl's today, and they were actually 50% off, so if you guys got a Kohl's near you and you want some fairy lights, you can check that out and get yourself... Hi, Melody. How are ya? How are you doing? So, I don't know. It seems like we got quite a bit of people, so we might just go ahead and start book talk anyways. But these are the fairy lights that I bought. They are 10 feet of fairy lights, and I think they were like $6. They take double A's. And they're pretty cool, and it's like copper, so you can kind of bend it to how you want it to look. It's not like free flow, so yeah. Anyways, we might do that later. Okay, so this book, I wrote down as many notes as I possibly could after I got done reading it, and I did research and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be like 5,000 things that I miss, and if there is a lot of things that I miss, or if there's something I'm not talking about and you guys are just like, hey, I need to talk about this, please let me know. Hi Chantel, nice to see ya. Please let me know so that I can touch on those subjects, because there is just so much that happened in this book, and I can't believe it was just the first book. And of course, the first book is a lot of the story building, character building, getting a feel for the lay of the land and all that jazz. So, yeah. I listened to this book on Audible, and I had a pretty crappy month, to be honest. After July 3rd, my grandmother passed away July 4th, and then I got strep, and then we had my grandmother's funeral, and then I got a big old gout flare-up. For pretty much that's what it is. I have old man disease now, so that's awesome. Yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands, so I sat and I listened to this book on Audible, and the narrator for this book is absolutely phenomenal. If you like Audible books or you're into that kind of thing, I highly suggest listening to it. Or, if you wanted to listen to the second book. How many of you have already gone on to the second book? I'm curious. I haven't yet. Thank you, Cassandra. It's life. I mean, Grandma was old and she needed some peace. So she got it, and I'm happy for her, It's just bittersweet. You know how that is. Anyways, so enough about me. Let's talk about the book. So I went into this book. You have not read it either? Okay, good. So I'm not... Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't just completely devour a series. But I have a hard time when the whole entire series isn't out yet, and then I have to wait for the next book. I hate that. So I went into this book thinking it was a fantasy novel. If you go onto Goodreads and you look at the description, it'll say fantasy and high fantasy and all that other stuff. I went into it blind for the most part, and just really... Okay, so Melody and Cassandra both haven't read the second one. Okay, good. It looks really interesting, and I can't wait with the way things had left off, but, I was, sitting there listening to the book, and I kept waiting for like there to be some sort of like fantasy element, like some sort of magical type thing going on, and it never happened. And then I realized, hey, this is actually historical fiction, which I know is kind of like a subgenre of fantasy or whatever, but I don't know. I'm like really intrigued with the whole truth behind the historical fiction, if that makes any sense. Yes. So I am really been digging into that and the history behind it, and that's really cool. I had no idea that Lada was actually in history a man, which was, what was his name? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Blah, 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 blah. I cannot read my own handwriting to save my life. Isn't this sad? Sad. Vlad. There we go. Hi, Brandy. Nice to see you. Vlad the Impaler. Yes. I thought that was really cool. I loved that this took place in a time in history that isn't very common, and it wasn't very like well known. Like a lot of historical fiction is like not Middle Ages by any means. Most of it's World War II, World War I era, from what I've experienced. And hi, Brandy. I know I already said hi, but I just love seeing your name. So it was just really refreshing to get like that point of view. And I've read a lot of like interviews that Kiersten White did with magazines and stuff, and like blogs and stuff, and then I watched a couple interviews that she did on YouTube, and just hearing why she came at it from the point of view she came at it from, it was very intriguing to me. So I loved this book so much. It was definitely not your typical YA romance fictional novel. It was very intense. So let's see here. Okay, so I want to go ahead and start with like talking about Radu and Lada, and I liked how at the beginning of the book you kind of get to follow them from infancy all the way to young adulthood, and you get to just sort of follow their life. A lot of times in young adult novels we just are bam right there in their young adult life, but you kind of get to see them form as human beings and their way of thinking, with Lada kind of being adopted by the nurse, and her, you know, thinking that the nurse's son was her brother and all this other stuff, and just being kind of wild and crazy, like very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh, not rabid, but like, oh, I can't, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Anyways, so Lada's very intense, and then her brother comes along, and it's the boy that her dad always wanted, but he's so cute and soft and pink and like precious and pretty, and his dad's so like grrr and fierce, and he's like, screw this, I don't care. He goes off on his little stupid expedition, and it comes back, and Lada's like, I am going to, you know, kill the intruders and all this stuff, and he just kind of falls in love with his fierce little daughter, and I think that's so interesting to me. And she like looks up to her dad as her hero and someone she admires, and the fact that he took her and her brother and just kind of abandoned them in the Ottoman Empire really made her lose a lot of respect for her father. She saw him as a coward after that, and I can almost relate to her in a way. There have definitely been moments I relate to her in a way because I have a very, very close relationship with my father, and my father is very like a man's man. Like he's just very motorcycle fireman kind of guy. And I always wanted, like, my sister was born and then I was born, and they had to wait like 9 years to have a son. So I was kind of like the son that my dad never had. So I was a big tomboy, and I loved building things with my dad and going on motorcycle rides and that kind of thing. And so, and from that perspective, I really related with Lada. And there have been points in my life as an adult I have been disappointed, I guess, by some actions that my father has made. I'm not going into details or anything like that, but it did break my heart, and I really do believe that Lotta, you know, she guarded herself a lot after that because, you know, her and her, that was it. It was just her and her brother, but it did forge a really good bond between her and Radu. I love that you got to see Lotta and Radu go from, you know, go into their puberty stage, and they kind of touched on that, and they talked about just their body changing and them, you know, recognizing the changes. I thought that was very interesting, and I loved how Kristen White always referred to sex as the snake in the garden. Oh my gosh, that was probably my favorite little metaphor she used all the time. So yeah, did you guys have any like favorite little things that she might have said in the book that kind of stuck out to you more than other things, I guess, just to think about that. So this book, oh, there's so much that happened. I don't even know. I keep getting like rabbit trail. I did take notes. Let's see here. Let's look at my notes. So being abandoned, Mahmed. I don't even know what to think about Mahmed. Like, I'm glad that he was befriended by Radu and by Lotta, and I like the platonic childhood relationship between the three of them. Hi Rachel, how are you feeling? I hope you're doing okay. I miss you so much. I feel like Facebook Live is just not digging my big giant head right now. I miss you. I miss you right here. Okay, just so you know. Anyways, Mahmed. I like saying his name. I loved listening to the audiobook because I got to hear all the names and how they are properly pronounced. I feel like that would have been almost like distracting to me. It's what I mean. I have to listen to fantasy novels with audiobooks because I feel like the names and places and the story building is almost too distracting in my mind, and I'm like, am I saying this right? I don't know. Why is this doing? It just helps me follow along the story and helps me be more immersed and be able to follow along a little bit better and enjoy the characters a little bit better. But anyways, that's besides the point. If I'm going too fast, please slow me down. Anyways, so let's get back to Mahmed, let's get back to Lotta, let's get back to Radu. I liked the dynamic of their relationship as children. With their teachers and the Islam, I liked that like first glance you got to see of Lotta protecting Radu. And Radu didn't see it as protection for the longest time. He thought that she was just throwing him under the bus when the teacher was beating him, but she didn't want the teacher to know that that was a way to get to her, so that he wouldn't get beat all the time. I thought that was very heartfelt, and I liked the little moments of Lotta that you got to see where she really did care, and like you got to see that genuine love that she had for her only family at the time. Yeah, that was precious. And as they got older, they kind of became more and more close as a family. Radu, growing up, you know, he was just this beautiful man. He was very sensitive. He loved the Islam religion, and just wanting to completely abandon everything that he came from and just move forward in his life. Let's just talk about Radu for a second. Radu was growing up, and he's always just like sitting there wanting to be just like his sister, you know, and he admires her just get it done attitude, and she's just able to get whatever she needs at the time, and he's just so timid and so just fragile almost. And hi Alyssa, Nice. Thanks for joining, Brandy. The way she allowed Radu to be beaten when she wouldn't answer the questions just showed it wouldn't. Yes. Yes. Brandy, yeah. That's exactly what yeah. That was one of the biggest moments in the book that really stuck out to me. And I liked, you know, it just kind of kept coming back up. And how he never really understood that until the end of the book, where he's like, Lada has everything I want. She has Mahmed, she has this life, you know, she always gets what she wants. But in reality, she just makes a lot of sacrifices, to be honest, for her brother. Which is really sweet, and he sees that eventually, and I love that he does eventually see that. I was kind of expecting the book to be a tiny bit more violent. When you hear about, like, her being the female version of Vlad the Impaler, you know, you thought, I don't know, I just assumed that there would be just a little bit more, like, cutthroat type gar. But, I mean, really, towards the end, when they had that giant fight scene, and she was, like, slightly injured to a point, but I did like that she's always, I'm all over the place, guys, I just really love this book. I did like how she was always like trying to become part of the Renacheri. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I think that's what it's called. And how she's always protecting Mahmed, especially when he becomes the emperor and his dad is retired. A lot of like the political aspects that happened behind Mahmed's back with his mother, and them trying, but Radu and Lada trying to protect Mahmed from like an uprising within the empire. I thought that was really interesting. I kind of forgot that they did that until about the end, when it kind of came up again, because things just kind of happened so smoothly for them. I wasn't surprised at all by the romantic aspect of both Lada and Radu for Mahmed. You kind of get the sense that, you know, Radu is that way simply from his upbringing and how he is as a person. And you kind of, I don't know, that wasn't a surprise for me. I just sort of, yeah, I did think it was interesting how Mahmed's mom, Mahmed, sorry, it's just so funny. That's how the audiobook lady said it all the time, so it's like, I feel so cool when I say it that way. Anyways, I did think it was interesting how Mahmed's mom was like, maybe he could love you, you know? And you got to do this, this, and this. And Mahmed, not Mahmed, but Radu was trying to just kind of play the field as far as like being the socialite and figure out where alliances lied and how, you know, people viewed Mahmed and how, who was dangerous, I guess. And he was able to charm his way into those situations, which I thought, you know, I thought that was awesome, because that's something that Lada could never do, because she is so blunt and she's so just fierce and she has no filter at all. And like the only thing she wants to do is just fight and protect and be anything but feminine. She does not, I thought it was really interesting when she was like in the water and she's like, I don't understand why this guy grabbed my boob. I don't understand that. Why are people so fascinated with these? It's interesting. I thought that was, you really get like kind of where her mind is as far as like her body and her sexuality and how she is as a human. I thought it was kind of shady of Mahmed to go out and have a bunch of babies and not tell his closest friends that he's having just tons of babies with these concubines. Concubines. I thought that was kind of, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. Let's see. I did like the relationship, sort of, that Radu had with the guy that really helped him. I can't remember his name, and I was trying to find it to write it down, but I couldn't, so if you know it, please help me out. But he ended up marrying his sister. I thought that situation was kind of interesting. It like kind of helped Radu, because I'm pretty sure being gay especially back in like the 1500s, was not okay. Yeah, and Islam and all that jazz, and so the fact that he married dude's sister and she happened to be a lesbian kind of made, but I really do hope Radu is able to find Lazar. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you. See, you know all the names. You retain the information. I retain the basic information. Anyways, so Lazar's sister, and I really hope that Radu is able to find that peace in that love. You know, I thought that was very sweet of him to marry her so she could have her happily ever after with the person that she loved. He's just the sweetest guy. I just want him to be my best friend. Let's see here. What else happened? Okay. Sorry, I have to look at my notes. Hi, Amy. How's it going? Thanks for being here. Nice to see ya. I don't really know what else to talk about. The fight scene at the end, especially. Okay, no, I remember now. Thank you. Hiya. The fight scene at the end when everything was kind of like a ruse, and sorry, my mind is all over the place. I thought it was so funny how Lada had the chance to leave several times to go back to where she came from. Like, she had several opportunities, and I think she stayed for Mahmed, to be honest. Like, she had her little cherries, you know, she had her little army to protect Mahmed. I think she was very comfortable with where she was. Thank you, Amy. I was trying to channel Lada. I don't know if I did that or not, but it was my goal in life today. Thank you so much, Brandy. You guys are so sweet. Yeah. Anyways, I felt very like weird drawing eyeliner all the way out to here. It felt very adventurous. Anyways, what was the guy's name? What was his name that was helping Lada? He was like her. You did. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Thank you. What was his name, Brandy? That helped Lada. He was gonna go with her when she left. Starts with an N. I think. You think about that and you let me know. Get back to me. Anyways, I thought it was really cool that she had her like own little like band, and she kept going and helping them train, and everyone that kind of had this like respect for her. I thought that was really cool. She saved Mahmed's life like 500,000 times. That's insane. And then finding out that how shady was it that her dad died, and then nobody decided that it would be a good idea to tell her. How shady was that? Like, what? You know, I don't understand that. I feel like that should have, I don't know. It just didn't seem okay. I felt bad also for Radu because he had to like kill his mentor kind of guy. And so did Lada. Oh, sorry, I'm like reliving it in my head. It was so intense, those last few chapters. Yeah. I feel like Kiersten did a really great job just doing her research on it. I feel like that I was able to be immersed in this book very easily. It did not take a ton of effort on my part to enjoy this story. I'm really excited to read the second book. I'm curious to know if you guys are going to be interested in reading the second book. I think it's called Now I Rise. And then her being sent back as Prince. That's going to be interesting. We'll see about that. So I don't think I'm going to read it this month. I have too much going on this month to be able to read multiple books. I still have to read Passengers by Alexandra Bracken. That is our August book of the month. School is getting ready to start. That's going to be very interesting for all of the moms out there. Anyways, besides the point, I really enjoyed the book. I really liked Darken. I will definitely read the second book at some point. I hope you guys will too. What else was I going to say? I think I'd rate it about a 4, maybe a 3.5. I mean, it was good. It wasn't like, I don't know what to even compare it to. I think it like has its own little like thing. I was so glad that, yes, thank you, Melody, thank you. Yes, Bogdan, you know, I kind of forgot about him. My ankle really itches. I kind of forgot about him. And then he came back, and I thought that was weird, and I was kind of waiting for him to just kind of like be the instigator of the fights and the rebellion. Like I was waiting on that to like, I don't know, I wasn't 100% like ready to trust him. I don't know. Did anybody else have trust issues in this book? I think my biggest issues with people was Bogdan and Mohammed. So, we'll see. I'm really sad that Radu won't be going back with his sister. I think that's going to be hard on both of them because they're so close, but they're also so different. So it might be good for them, and they might be able to grow in ways that they weren't able to before because they will have that separation. So we'll see what happens in the second book. But thank you for bringing Bogdan up, Melody. I really appreciate that. Again, my mind is all over the flippin' place. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. Next month, Passengers, Alexandra Brecken. I don't know how many people have already read that. I think there's the second book for that is out too. It's called Wayfair. And anyways, I'm really excited to read it. It's been on my TBR pile for a long time. So I'm like kind of forced to read it now. Yeah, that's it. Amanda Stallings, I still have your book. Hi, Jenna Nelson. How are you? Thanks for being here. Hi. I still have your book. I haven't gotten together with Rachel to give you your book yet, but it's beautiful and clean and happy. I did not read it. It's the back has not been bent, pages are not corrupted. It is prestigious and beautiful and happy. I will get it to you, I promise. Hi, Ashley. You added your lights. Yes, I did add my lights. I actually got 2 things of lights. I got them at Kohl's, and I talked about this at the beginning, and I want to try and get them open so you guys can see. If you guys have a Kohl's near you, which I love Kohl's. I used to work at Kohl's. Kohl's was great. But they're doing, these were 50% off. So they're originally $19.99, and I got them for $10. And then I got 20% off on top of that. So it comes with like a little battery pack. And then it's like this coppery type material with these little lights on it. Let me see if I can find the end real quick so you can see how pliable it is. And then you can just kind of mold it on your things, which I love. Looks like it's okay. It's okay. It went by really fast because it's just me, myself, and I. So no worries, Ashley. It's all right. Anyways, so here's the fairy lights, and you can just like do whatever you want with them. And I'm really excited about that. I also bought. Did I put it over here? I don't. Oh, I did. I bought this, and it's like a remote control for it. And I can like make it flicker like it's a candle. Or I can dim it or make it bright. So that's awesome. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want it to, I'm like pointing it at, I'm pointing it at the camera expecting it to move. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry. We're gonna pop the batteries in real quick. Boop, doop, boop. Alrighty, stick with me. 1 second. Okay, so the battery's going like that. Nice little thing, and then you pop them on. And, oh, that's really bright. Really, really bright. Let's dim that sucker. Okay. maybe. All right, so see? Yes. See? Aren't they beautiful? I'm like a fairy now. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, so those are going to be going on my bookshelf as well. Oh, and I want to show you guys one more thing. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited about my bookshelf. I got Elizabeth and Jane Bennett because my daughter's name is Elizabeth Jane, and I named her after the Bennett sisters. And I keep telling my husband that someday it'll just be amazing when she grows up and she gets married and her last name is Bennett, so she can be Elizabeth Jane Bennett. So if you know any little boys that are like 5 years old or 6 years old and their last name is Bennett, you send them my way. Okay? I'm looking for a matched marriage right here. Okay? All right. Anyways, that's it for book talk today. I know it was kind of short and sweet. It is usually short and sweet when it's just me. But if you would like to discuss something that you think I forgot, don't hesitate to just comment. We can continue the discussion. It's not a big deal. And then I'll also post this on my YouTube channel, so if you can't find it and you want to watch it later, it'll be there, safe and sound. So that's it. Thanks guys for being here. I loved being able to chat with you and talk with you, and I can't wait to see you all next month for Alexandra Brecken's Passengers. So thanks guys, have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.